kuusi makua. Tina can help you. Tina and Atsu will help you. Rita and Tari are there also.
Sweet, salty, sour, pungent, astringent. And then
Bitter.
Bitter. Yeah.
It's very good. Very good. So these are the 6 rasas. And garlic, garlic is a very important Ayurvedic component. It's a herb, it's a medicine also, because it contains 5 out of 6 rasas. So except the sweet rasa, garlic contains all the rasa. So it's a very good spice, a healing spice in itself. So when we say the nutrition is in terms of the rasas, they have these elements which do the nourishment. So sweet rasa is bit of, Dr. Pardamam spoke about it already, so I'll just maybe skip this slide. But as you can see, every rasa has one or the other element predominant in it. Some has earth, some has water. And depending on that predominant element, it does the action in your body. I guess most of you have 1 or 2 favorite rasas here. May I ask how many of you like the first one? Oh, very few. Well, if you go to the supermarket, Kaupa, Escobar, anywhere, Espresso House, step out of the home, you find just this rasa everywhere. And it's an important one because in India, it's the festival time. If you go to anybody's house, you have to take sweets, for your spouse or your husband or your wife. You will say, darling, sweetheart, You don't say, hey, bitter god, hey, pungent, hey, chili, come here. So it's a very sweet and a loving rasa. It's very important and many people like it. But the predominance of just this one rasa is the problem. Ayurveda says whatever you eat, it should be the balance of these 6 rasas. The excess of any of these rasas is what is causing the problem. So when we take excess of sweet, excess of salt, which we usually do in this modern lifestyle, it leads to a lot of lifestyle problems. So in our Indian ancient kitchens, wherever they are still following the system, we have a lot of emphasis on chutneys. So I think many of you would have tasted that. We always had in our home, my mother used to make 3 chutneys, dhania pudina chutney, and then this lasun ki chutney and peanut chutney, whatever chutney, because these chutneys have all the rasas. And when you are eating a chutney once a day in your meal, my mother developed blood pressure. She used to take coriander pudina chutney every day. She's completely fine. What I'm trying to say is the rasas, when they are in balance, they nourish you. So this is the whole concept of nutrition. The Ayurveda doesn't say, don't eat this and don't eat that. Ayurveda says eat everything in uniformity. So this is one of the secret of the Ayurvedic kitchen. You have to eat. And then nutrition and mind. So nutrition also comes from mind. Most important thing, whenever we are eating food, we have to eat mindfully. Nowadays we have a lot of health issues because we are not eating mindfully. The food is there and we are talking, we are in meeting, we are watching TV or something. So in my kitchen, I have a rule. There is no telephone allowed. There is no TV allowed. Nothing when we are eating food. When we eat food, we just focus on the food. And that is what keeps you healthy. So a connection between the mind and the food is very important. It's called the satiation factor, which gives you satisfaction. If you're eating, and thinking about the boss, and something else, you're tensed, you're stressed, the food doesn't nourish you in the right way as it should. Do you all agree with me?
Yes.
Okay. And nutrition is also a therapy, because when the nutrition is not correct, we get a lot of health issues. People say that Indian cooking is Ayurvedic cooking. It's wrong. Indian cooking is similar to Ayurvedic cooking. It's not Ayurvedic cooking, because in Ayurvedic cooking we don't have deep fried foods. We don't have oversaturated foods. We don't have those kind of things that are present in today's Indian kitchen, like a lot of tomatoes and all these things. Tomatoes don't exist in Ayurveda. They somehow came in our kitchens and they are now non-separable. So Ayurvedic kitchen We have principles similar to Indian cooking, but Ayurvedic cooking is very different. It's always local, seasonal, and traditional. So once you know the concepts of Ayurvedic cooking, you can heal yourself by following few simple principles. So this is the three kind of nutrition that has been mentioned in Ayurveda thousands of years ago. Three things nourish you: ahara, nidra, and brahmacharya. You have to have a good food and diet. You need to have a good rest and sleep. And the third one is brahmacharya. Brahmacharya means you have to have a moral code of conduct. If you have hurt somebody in the day, emotionally or in any way, that's not a good moral conduct. Then you are not healthy. Somehow, psychologically or somewhere, you develop a disease. In the corona time, people were quite stressed and disturbed. So they were not getting a good sleep. So that is also one of the reasons. And why is it important to have ahara? Because food is the fuel that runs your body. And your body is the only vehicle that you take if you have to run in this life. If you want to do good or bad, wherever you want to go in this life, you need this body. And for that, nutrition is the most important thing. So ahara, nutrition, is highly emphasized in Ayurveda. And it also depends on the Prakriti, Ritu, Vaya, Desha, Kala, and Agni. I think Pardaman spoke about it. And now, what is ideal nutrition? Depending on the content, the compatibility, quantity, season, and the seasonal considerations. Very, very important, because now we are shifting to the next slide, which will just speak about the season which is coming here in Finland. And then the source of nutrition. So Ayurveda has mentioned these sources. It has to be grains, legumes, fruits, vegetables, and all kind of things. It's a very long list. I won't go through all of this. So we come here, the seasons. How much time do I have? Okay, yes. Now we can talk in peace about about the kitchen or the Ayurveda in Finland in winters, because this will be interesting for all of you. So there is a specific seasonal nutrition, like in rainy season, you have to have certain kinds of food. It's highly followed still today in India, that we follow certain foods in the rainy season, in the winter season, and in the summer season. In the summer season, we eat a lot of mangoes, for example. In the winter season, we eat a lot of makki ki roti and sarson ka saag and ghee. And in the rainy season, we eat the things which are not very pungent or astringent or heavily fried, etc., because that can give you a lot of skin problems and those kind of issues. Now let's go to the winter season. Okay, so in the next slides, I will talk about the Finnish spices, or the Finnish kitchen, let's say, not the Ayurvedic kitchen, because the Ayurvedic kitchen, it's quite different from the Finnish kitchen. So if I start talking about the Ayurvedic kitchen, you will say, oh, those spices, even if I inspire you a lot, hey, buy this, buy jaggery, buy ghee, buy honey, buy this, buy that, and you go and you buy those things, next year when you come to the Ayurveda day, you look at me and say, she was the one who told me to buy all these spices and they're still sitting in my cabinet. So, we will talk about only those spices which you can use, because it's understandable that Indian spices are different from the Finnish kitchen and they taste quite different than what they do to the Indian people and then to the Finnish people. So the Finnish people might buy them out of their love for India and for the spices, but I have seen in my experience in the past 8 years, those who bought them 8 years, they still have them. And they come and ask me, do you need my saffron? Did you need my kamba? So why are spices so important in Ayurveda? Why is it we spoke so much about the spices? In today's slide, in the next 15 minutes, we will just talk about 8 spices that you use in Finland. And those are the spices of Christmas, because Christmas is coming. So you will need them, so you can buy them, and you will definitely use them. So spices have been used in Ayurveda pills since thousands of years. And since 2021 has been declared as the year for the fruits and the vegetables, the post-pandemic. You know, in the pandemic time, we were out of the supply for the zinc and the vitamin C. They were not available in the stores. People were running to Aptiki to buy zinc and then vitamin C supplements. They were not there. But all these things, elements, the zinc and vitamin C, they exist in our diet. We have to see from where can we get it. So, first and the foremost spice that you all must have in your kitchen closet. Remember 8 spices and then 8 plus 2. So 8 are the spices, then there's going to be ghee. Did Cardamom speak about it? Did you speak about ghee? Okay, you spoke. And then I think my brother Ossi will also speak about ghee because you're talking about immunity. So, and Tulasi also you will speak about. And then we have honey. So ghee and honey plus these 8 spices. I will tell you about honey first because those experts will also talk about ghee. Honey is the only thing which has the pH and other properties very similar to our blood, to our human blood. So when you look under the microscope, you will find that honey and human blood have many microscopic properties very similar. So honey is the closest thing to blood that you can give to your body to heal it, to nourish it. First thing in the morning, you can give yourself a spoon of honey. That's a good thing, isn't it? So I'm going to talk only good things. No herbs, no bitter herbs, nothing. So did you speak about the Mahaguna theory of nutrition, Rajasic, Sattvic, Tamasic? No. Okay. So in the according to this nutrition chart, we also have the Mahaguna theory of the nutrition, wherein along with the rasas and the 20 gunas, we speak about the 3 Mahagunas, that is Sattvic, Rajasic and Tamasic. So when we look at the food, you know, the food has to be, the food or the spice always has certain qualities. It's Sattvic, Rajasic or Tamasic. For a normal person to live a healthy life, Sattvic guna is the one which is highly recommended everywhere in Ayurveda. But these 3 gunas are like, you can't separate them. They exist. All we have to do is to make a balance. So if we eat the Sattvic things more, you know, we will be more of positive. Sattvic is a very positive word. It's a very positive feeling. So Sattvic, Rajasic and then Tamasic. So Sattvic foods are the foods which give you a very good immunity. And then the Rajasic foods are the ones which drive you, which give you the force, whereas Tamasic foods are the ones which make you heavy and sleepy. And of course it's a quality also, but for example, alcohol and drugs, they are very Tamasic. So those are not so positive qualities. So now moving forward, black pepper. So black pepper is a stimulant, it's a carminative, it is Rajasic. It is a Rajasic means it keeps the things going, it keeps the things moving. It's a decongestant, it's a blood purifier, it has many functions. So please keep it in your closet. As the season changes, when the winter season starts, you know, there are changes in the voice, there is changes in the system. So black pepper and honey is a very excellent combination that will help you in so many ways you won't even realize, and any age group can have the black pepper. Any questions? Okay, then cardamom. Cardamom is the best and the safest herb. It's highly sattvic, a very loving sweet herb that I think every home has. And you know, when you buy these herbs tomorrow, or if you have them already, please also see it's mentioned there how you can use it. So the most important way in which Ayurveda says you should use the spices is to cook them. You know, not like in the topping of a salad or something. Of course you can do it like that also. But the antidote is when you cook it in some oil and then you process the thing. That is how the enzymes are activated and you have a good or a better digestion. So cardamom can be used, you know, especially in the respiratory tract. It's given from the babies to the old people. Everybody can have cardamom. Nowadays, when suddenly the temperatures have dropped and people are having some problem in the throat, coughing and all, 1 cardamom whole in the mouth. Just keep it and slowly it melts and it cleanses the system. The third one is cinnamon, which is very famous Finnish spice. So it does wonders. It's a very wonderful spice. As you can see, it's increasing the appetite, it eliminates the ama, and it brings the warmth to the body. And this is the reason why, you know, you have cinnamon cookies and you have cinnamon, lot of cinnamon on the Christmas table. Because there is a reason to it, why the herbs have been there in that food in that season. They are not by chance. There is some logic behind it. And you will think, okay, it's cinnamon, cardamom, black pepper, it's Christmas. But hey, please wake up. In Ayurveda, every day is Christmas because we have these spices every day. So, I mean, it's not that you have to take these spices only in the winter season. You can have them every day. They are really very good, and then they don't have any side effect. I think you also saw how to combine them. You know, these herbs, all the three, those three and the next 5, you can also apply them directly wherever you have a problem. You have a problem in the gum, in the tooth, in the neck. You know, in India, what the moms do, they take some honey and the herb and they put in the kid's mouth. Tonsils, tooth pain, everything. The problem is finito, it's gone. Next to the cloves, nellika. Very warm. And all the 3 herbs that I spoke, sorry I missed, all the 3 herbs I spoke earlier and this 4th one, they all are kapha and vata reducing. So all of them, they reduce the kapha and the vata, and that is one of the reasons why they are consumed in the winter season, because in the winter one has a lot of cough, a lot of kapha, and they reduce the pitta. So now how do you serve them? You know, and it's also an antidote sugar. Because you eat a lot of sugar during Christmas and in the fall, so cloves are a good idea to be present there. I remember the very first time, I see some people are getting bored. So the very first time I came to Finland and we were looking for apartments, people said, "Oh, you're Indian. You eat Indian food." Yes, we are Indians, we eat Indian food. Indian food is very spicy. What do you mean by spicy? It's very hot. And still many people have this notion. Of course not you all, because you all have been very close to the Ayurveda. So spicy food and hot food are different. Chili is a spice, one of the spices. But then we have thousands of other spices, you know. So all the spices have some chemical action, and spices are medicine in our kitchen. Sorry, I just have 5 minutes left. So now I'll go to the next one, cumin. Cumin is excellent herb, a spice. It's used in many ways. You know, it's used in women, in men, in adolescent girls, in old people, in the women who have just given birth, the women who have problem in breastfeeding, and so on. And usually it's also given when you are overeating. So in the Indian restaurants, you always have cumin in the thing. Ginger. Ginger is my favorite and the best spice because it has a lot of medicinal properties. It's a very good digestive, carminative, expectorant, and it's tridoshic, balancing all the doshas. Then nutmeg. How many of you know nutmeg? Very good. So nutmeg is it's a very nice herb for all the ages, especially for the younger kids, because all the parts of that nut are quite useful. It can be used with many herbs in the combination. It's very good for the bones, for the muscles, and it's given in India. It's given to the babies right away after they are born. If they get cough or cold or something, you know, they just rub the nutmeg and they apply to the child, and the child is completely good after that. Turmeric. All of you know turmeric. It has become very famous in the Corona times. So it's the queen of all the herbs. Fresh turmeric, but how turmeric is used here, I would like to just mention about it. It's not the right way, or I will say the best way to use it. You know, kurkuma latte and kurkuma shots and this shots and that shots. You know, and they will sell you a kurkuma paste. The best way to use kurkuma is to saute it. You know, just put some oil and then 1 spoon of kurkuma. That is the best way kurkuma is assimilated. We call it tadka lagake. So that is how kurkuma should be used. In this way, it's assimilated 99%. Of course, kurkuma latte and kurkuma shots are not bad either, but there are chances that you might assimilate or your body might be take just 20% of the nourishment out of it. So next time, whatever you're making, your porridge, your soup, whatever, a tinge of cumina and then a tinge of turmeric. And then these are some ideal winter foods, fruits, and the vegetables that you should eat. The idea is that whatever we eat in Ayurveda, it should be cooked or semi-cooked. And when we cook or semi-cook the food, we are just kindling, we are just increasing the Agni so that it goes to a pre-digestive phase already. Because some people can digest raw foods, but everybody cannot digest the same raw salad. So it's very individual, the choice of spices and the choice of the kind of food you eat. It's cooked, semi-cooked or uncooked. So please always go for the cooked food. Eat seasonal, local and traditional. And you must have ghee and honey at home because ghee is the best fat. It's very good for the immunity. It's a very good rasayana. It's a very good for your body and for your joints in general. And is my time over? Is my time over?
You have 1 minute.
Okay. So it's mentioned in the Hatha Yoga Pradipika. It's a very famous book of yogis. I see many of you are yogis here. That one becomes a yogi when they know when to stop eating. So eating is a science, but then when to stop eating, it's the most important thing. In all the spices that we spoke about today, you can sometimes, I have few friends here who sometimes text me, Bhavna, my child has this problem. Do you have sitobaladi? Do you have thalasadi? And I'm saying, no, I don't have those churnas. You can use these herbs. You can mix cardamom and cinnamon and black pepper. And then there is this pipali, which can be found here. It's Cosmoveda. So you can mix pipali into it. And if you mix those 4 things, you can make your own sitobaladi. You don't have to go everywhere that I'm coughing or somebody's coughing. Mix these 4 things and your sitobaladi churna is ready. You can also mix the bamboo shoot into it. That is also one of the main ingredients of sitobaladi. And then talisadi. So talisadi is also churna which has the ingredients same like sitobaladi, but the only difference is ginger. So when you add ginger, it becomes talisadi, and when you add these 4 herbs, it's
Talisa is the difference.
Talisa is also the difference, right? So that's Himalayan fir. Himalayan fir is the Talisa. So Himalayan fir, if you don't find, you can just mix these with the ginger and also cloves. So they are as good and effective as Talisa. So that's it. Any questions or anything? No?
Bhavna, I see this slide on ideal winter food.
Ji.
Now, which is the fruit or
So this, I couldn't put a table here. This one is the fruits and these one are the
but
vegetables.
I see most of the fruits and vegetables mentioned here. Which fruit or vegetable is to be avoided during winters?
So during winters, you should avoid the things which are cooling. We should take the things which are heating. Like for example, in the winter, all the underground herbs like the sweet potato, the beetroot, all the roots, which are seasonal, they should be taken. And of course, all the greens can be taken. As you can see in this list, carrots. So these are all heating foods. For example, chilies and corn. They are all pitta predominant. Garlic is also very pitta. So when you take these heating vegetables or heating spices, they maintain the heat in the body, because when suddenly the outside temperatures drop, the body tends to fall sick. So when we eat these heating spices and the food which contain the heat element, we stay immune or healthy throughout the winter, and it varies season to season. Thank you, sir.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, I have Pinky on my
Thank you, Bhavna. One question that Pradmanji said that you should eat when you feel hungry. How about these rasas? If I feel like eating sour, even though my body type is different, should I consume it? Because this is also kind of, you should eat when you feel like you eat. How about that?
Of course, you can have sour. So instead of lemon, you can have lime, and you can have it in a smaller quantity. You don't have to have the whole orange juice. You can have some quantity of it, because a complete avoidance of any rasa is the one which causes imbalance in itself. So we should have all the rasas, but of course if somebody is diabetic or if somebody has some problem, then also we don't say you stop sugar completely. You know, they take sugar still in the form of roti or carbohydrate or something in that way. So, yes, please.